This is classic Trump situation with the Republican convention. There's probably no safe place in America. We know there's no safe place in America to assemble a full arena full of people, elbow to elbow, the way a political convention normally is. That will not be safe anywhere in the country this summer. Do you think Donald Trump will find a state, Alabama, will find a place somewhere where he can make that happen and take all those public health risks in the same room?
Well, I'm guessing he pushes in that direction only to have it blow up in his face at the last minute. And the reckoning really is here. And for 3 years, people have wondered whether there's some master scheme, some brilliant plan. That the apocalypse is here. When I wrote the book, I was thinking the apocalypse would probably take the form of a recession because of the trade war, perhaps a shooting war with Iran. Instead, we got this neglected pandemic. And this administration is careening toward electoral disaster, and it's going to take Republicans in the Senate, I anticipate, with it. And then the question we're all going to face is, what then? Because what Donald Trump has shown, and what we've talked about so often here in the evenings, is that there is an important minority in this country who's not reconciled to the basic rules of a democratic state. And you're not going to change their minds. We've asked about that again and again. What does it take to change their minds? You're not going to change their minds. So how do you safely govern a great country around them? How do you change the country in such a way that their veto matters a lot less?
And how do you do that, David?
Well, what you have to understand, and this is the thing that I think many people who watch the show understand very well, that the American system of government is built to treat some people as more important political actors than other people. You know, if people in California had to live for 3 minutes the way, people in Wyoming had to live for 3 minutes the way people in California do, they would think they were very ill-used. So how do you even it out so that Californians have a few more of the rights that people in Wyoming can claim? And that means working practical, feasible reforms, no fantasies like eliminating the Electoral College, to even things out. I give a couple of examples in the book. One of them is, look, Democrats are going to do well at the state level in 2020, and there's going to be a census in 2020 and a redistricting afterwards. So I suggest that in states like North Carolina and Wisconsin, where Democrats will probably have an advantage, better contested states, Democrats produce two maps, a fair map and a map of that is what the Republicans did in 2010. And then turn to Republicans in states like Georgia and Texas and say, we can do it your way or we can do it a fair way. If you go fair, we'll go fair. If you go hard, we'll go hard. And look, it's crazy that politicians write these maps. That's really wrong. But if they do, then we have to have something more like a national system for holding them together. And we need a new Voting Rights Act as well to correct the mistake the Supreme Court made in 2013 when it's basically retired from the job of policing racial discrimination in voting.